What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to the Crypto Catch-Up. Now, look, today what we're going to be catching up on is exactly what is happening in this market, specifically kind of going down towards Bitcoin because it does seem to be in control, and focusing in on if this is or is not still a good time to be buying. As many of you know, a couple days ago, I think 2 days ago, I talked about the fact that I thought we were entering into a buy zone, that I wasn't buying a lot because there was a chance we could continue lower, but I was going to start buying soon, and I want to kind of build on that today. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, people, and let's get straight into the video. And guys, please don't forget, this is a brand new channel where I'm bringing you fundamental analysis 4, 5, 6 times a week, and so it would help me out a ton if you did like this video so more people could see it, and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. But with that said, again, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. So what we can see here is that it has been a rough day. Now, not only has it been a rough day, it's been a rough week, it's been a rough month. Honestly, things have not been that fun, but at the end of the day, what can you do? And honestly, this is the first time that we have seen a pullback recently where I'm really starting to notice it even in my own personal life, right? I am personally feeling a little bit just like I have these little moments where I'm like, damn, man, the market's down, you know? Or I check my portfolio and I might be down like 30K, 40K, and I'm like, golly, but it just is what it is. And on top of that, I'll get on my main channel, I'll get crazy comments, just like people going, they're just pissed off. And that's always a good indicator for me that the market's really going through it, that people are really starting feeling it, is when the comment section is just full of negativity. No matter what you talk about, they don't care. They just want to comment something negative, feel like they're kind of contributing that, right? And so because of that, again, yes, I have been feeling this an absolute ton. Guys, we can see meme coins like Pepe down 20%, friggin' altcoins like Render down 24%, FLR, Doge, ETC, AVAX, WIF, doesn't really matter. Now, I definitely am noticing our major cryptos are performing a little bit better, right? Like your Bitcoins, and it's not particularly Solana, but outside of those, you know, Bitcoin and ETH, they're holding up decently well. It's really more your altcoins that are actually starting to take quite the beating. Now, this is no surprise, and this is something that I wanted to point out today, a new metric that we haven't really used here on the channel quite yet, even though we have 2 videos, is that this is not particularly, again, surprising. And the reason that I say that is because you really just need to see what August has looked like historically to get an understanding that this is probably going to be a shitty month, right? What we can see is that historically, August really does not do well. The last 2 years, it's been red. Then we had 2 years before that it was green. 2 years red, 1 year green, 3 years red, 1 year green. And realistically, the average return in the month of August is 2%. So on average, even if we do recover these losses that we're putting in right now for Bitcoin specifically, the likelihood is here that it's not going to be that crazy of a month. Now, I personally do believe that it still does present an amazing opportunity for us, right? Sure, August might be red, but historically speaking, as we get out of August and typically September as well, we usually see things open up. Historically, October, November, and December are very bullish months. Guys, look at this, 22% in October, 46% in November, 5% in December, which isn't the best, but it's still not that bad. But October and November are usually very good months, and we're getting closer and closer and closer to them. And so knowing that and having an understanding that we're hopefully almost out of this summer lull, and that we are hopefully going to start seeing things progress, maybe even as we do get towards the political season, maybe they do cut interest rates and all of these things, maybe we could be in a spot in which we are finally getting to an end of this pullback and of this macro bullshit that we've been in for the last couple months. Now, looking at the Bitcoin rainbow chart, one thing that I do want to point out is that even though we have been seeing a lot of great price movement over the last year or so, we are still within this bottom threshold. As you can see, we're currently sitting right here in this little bluish greenish zone, historically still a very good zone, guys. Yes, sure, we're putting in all-time highs, but that does not mean that we're, you know, we did put in an all-time high, but that does not mean that from a historical price range, right, based off of the exponential gains that we've seen, that this is overextended to any degree. I would actually say quite the opposite. I don't particularly think that we're going to see Bitcoin hitting these upper thresholds of, 700, 600, even 500,000, but getting back up towards this yellow zone somewhere around, hell, 150K, I think that's possible. And knowing that that could be what is in store for us over the next 12 to 15 months, and we may finally be out of this ugly ass summertime that we've been in, I definitely do think that this could be a fantastic time to continue accumulating, as I did mention to you in the last video. Now, breaking this down even further, we've been talking about the macro, let's go into the micro a little bit. What we can see here is that we are now in fearful times, guys. 37 on the fear and greed index. which is interesting. Tyler, why is that interesting? Because we have only spent 22 days of the last 365 days in a time of fear. And historically speaking, when we are in times of fear, historically speaking, when people are this nervous, this fearful, you can see what has happened afterwards. We had this amount of fear right back here before we bottomed out and put in the pump. We had this amount of fear back here, and of course that summertime craziness in which we saw. And I feel like this is, there we go. Yeah, this is this is a macro graph. I was about to say it cannot be adjusting to the yearlies, but again, you can see these moments where we really start to venture towards these lower thresholds are historically some of the best times to be purchasing. And knowing that we have only spent 22 days in the fear zone, think about how much of an opportunity that is. This is an uncommon occurrence. And the craziest thing is, like, yeah, we're seeing a lot of fear in the market right now, but realistically, Bitcoin's not doing that bad. I mean, we're still within this descending wedge. It's not like we lost the wedge. It's not like we're collapsing down past 40K. So the fact that we're entering into a zone that we haven't really been in for the last year is interesting to me. And so people need to kind of get they're being a little delusional right now, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, that's just the market for you. Now, moving on a little bit deeper, what we can see is that our average RSI on the dailies has now started to come down. Of course, we can see it was a little bit higher than this. We were at the very top of that weak zone. Now we're slowly progressing through this weak zone a little bit more. And what this means is that the relative strength index for the top 100 cryptos on average is reducing. It's coming down. As you can see right here, it's at 37.32, which is considered a weak zone. And historically speaking, when your RSI is in a weak zone, that does present some of the best buying opportunities. Now, oversold is a way better buying opportunity. When we're oversold, that's when things are crazy. The way to put this into perspective, when you're in a weak zone, it's kind of like your fear and greed index being in a fearful zone. When you're in an oversold zone, though, that's like your fear and greed index being in an extreme fear zone, which again, historically, some of the best times to be purchasing. And so it is interesting to me to see that, or for me to see that all of these cryptos, I mean, the vast majority of them are pulling either below neutral or into a weak zone, because it just does go to say that yes, people are actually fearful, and they always tell you, you know, that bullshit phrase. It's not bullshit. It's just so everyone says it, like buy when people are fearful, right? This is showing you that the time is becoming now. Now, does that mean that it's going to happen right now, right? Does that mean that we're going to see the market start pumping tomorrow? No, it doesn't particularly mean that at all. And the reason that I say that is because realistically, we're in a descending wedge for Bitcoin and total market cap, which of course does typically mean that we are in a spot in which this market could continue lower. People could get more fearful, but it's saying that as we continue lower, we're getting closer and closer to the bottom in which we're going to put in, and we're probably closer to the bottom now than we've ever been in the last 3 months. And so because of that, it does seem to me that this is continuously getting a better and better buying opportunity. So I'm going to continue to dollar cost average more and more. Now, one thing that has really started to truly give me more and more bullish conviction that we are in a good buying zone is what the market is showing us, or what retail investors are showing us. What we can see, this is a Bitcoin exchange liquidation map. And quite simply what it does, I know this may look a little complicated, it's really not. It's just showing how many liquidations will occur at certain prices. So from 62,000 to 67,000, which are the numbers above us right now, there are a lot of liquidations that would happen. In comparison, if the price does continue downwards, what you can see is that, you know, if we go to 59, 59, or 59.1, 59.6, 60, 60.7, there's liquidations that will happen, but not a ton of liquidation. So this goes to show, when you're seeing more weight on the right side, that more people are betting that crypto's price is going to go down than it's going to go up. And you guys know historically the opposite tends to happen. The direction in which there are more liquidations is the way in which the market will typically go over an extended period of time. We will usually see people get liquidated. That's the way the market works. And if we break this down into a heat map, what you can see, guys, is we actually just got another layer of liquidations here. You guys remember, for the last few weeks, months really, we only had this yellow layer of liquidations here, but now we're starting to see those liquidations get pulled down even lower to where $70,000 is full of liquidations as well. And in moments like this, remember, the market will typically move in the direction of the most liquidations. And in this case, you can start to see that we're getting a lot of liquidations to the upside. And so don't be surprised if at some given point, this market does start to look to bounce. It does start to try to find some support and at least retest to the upside to fill some of those liquidations, pushing some of those shorters out of their positions. And so because of all of these things, guys, in my opinion, I think this is still a good time to be buying. I am dollar cost averaging. I'm not buying a lot. I'm trying to, like, if I was gonna, how do I explain this? If it was a scale of 1 to 10, on the way in which I was dollar cost averaging. 10 means I'm literally dumping every dollar of cash that I have in the world of crypto. And then 1 means I'm not buying anything. I'm probably at like a 4.85 right now. Like I'm somewhere around that middle point where I'm definitely dollar cost averaging a good bit, but I'm not going crazy. Again, we could see Bitcoin's price hit the $49,000, $50,000 threshold. People don't like to hear that. That is the truth. Do I think that's going to happen? I really don't know. Of course, I do more technical analysis on the main channel if you want to go check that out down below. But at the end of the day, it could do that. And so I'm not going to force my way into all these positions. I'm definitely not going long on leverage right now, but I am still in a mode in which I do think this is an accumulation zone, and that's exactly what I'm doing. And so guys, of course, if you do enjoy these videos in which I'm giving you a more macro fundamental breakdown, going over metrics, going over things, I'm learning more metrics as the days go by so I can present more and more information for you here to help you and myself build our thesis together. And so, of course, if you do enjoy these, remember, yes, this is a brand new channel, and I'm feeling motivated. You know, I'm feeling motivated. I really enjoy doing these videos, and I can't wait to continue doing them. And if you want me to, please like this video so as many people see it as possible, and subscribe to the channel so that I know you enjoyed the content. But with that said, guys, that is going to be about it for today. Of course, I hope you did enjoy. I have a couple videos launching on my main channel in a couple hours, some technical analysis videos. So feel free to go check that out if you'd like. And I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.